Cleveland's own Fox 8 News.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Fox 8 News at 4 o'clock. I'm Maglio. We begin with breaking news today. An arrest has been made after an arson fire at a popular local diner. Fox 8 Suzanne Stratford is live from Cleveland Heights tonight. And Suzanne, that's where the suspect just appeared in court.
Yeah, Lou, just moments ago, there was an arraignment for some previous charges and also talking about this arson. A very serious crime, first-degree felony. The law director, assistant law director, prosecutors calling it an act of community terrorism, saying this didn't just cause extreme damage to this business, but upset the entire community. 46-year-old James Warholic faced Judge Mabel Jasper in court, arrested for setting fire to the Cats Club diner. Damages to the World War II-era diner already set at $400,000. Now, Cleveland Heights detectives worked very closely with the state fire marshal's office, ATF agents. There was a reward being offered, $5,000 for information leading to the suspect. However, it's unclear yet if that's what happened. But we do understand that multiple agencies, including Cleveland City detectives working on this as well, arson detectives working on this as well with Cleveland Heights. Now, investigators, again, not commenting either on the relationship between Warholic and the owners of the Cats Diner, only to say that it seems he may have worked there before. So the law director, assistant law director, asking for a really high bond in this matter, Lou, asking for $250,000, and the judge agreed, saying that it was extremely upsetting. It upset the entire community. And because it is aggravated arson, it's a first-degree felony, so he's being moved down to the county jail where he'll be indicted and then have to plead either guilty or not guilty. However, he did plead on 2 other unrelated charges. There was 1 count of domestic violence and also 1 count of assault, which he pled not guilty to those charges. But they're taking it very seriously here in Cleveland Heights, and they say they want to see this thing prosecuted to the extent of it that it really did upset a lot of people here.
May have worked there before, Suzanne, but that's about all we know about the relationship between Doug Katz, the owner, and this gentleman who was in court today.
That's all we know at this point. Neither side elaborating on it, only to say there is a relationship, a clear relationship. And in fact, in court, the assistant law director saying they're fearful, that the owners are fearful of him. And that's why they wanted the bond set so high, that this wasn't just something that was unnerving to people in the area, but to people who worked at that business and also the people who own that business.
Very interesting. All right, Suzanne, thank you. The first person diagnosed with Ebola in the United States has died. Thomas Duncan, the man who traveled to the U.S. from Liberia, passed away this morning at a hospital in Dallas. Fox 8's Lori Taylor is here now with more on what happened here, and Lori, that's getting attention everywhere.
It surely is, Lou. Health officials have said Duncan was a healthy man when he arrived in the United States on September 25th. Today, 1 day shy of 2 weeks, he has succumbed to the Ebola virus. According to family and friends, this was the first trip to America for 42-year-old Thomas Eric Duncan, a citizen of Liberia. He made the trip to Dallas to visit his son and the child's mother. Although health authorities have not said how Duncan contracted Ebola, those who knew him say Duncan was working with Ebola patients, a fact he denied on a health screening questionnaire prior to boarding his flight for the U.S. According to a representative from the Liberia Airport Authority, the 42-year-old man's temperature was taken at 3 different points before boarding the plane, and at no time did he show signs of a fever. Health officials say that is one indicator he was not contagious at the time of travel.
I want to reinforce to the public that this was an isolated incident of the Ebola virus contracted by the individual while residing in another country where the virus has become an epidemic. This is sad news for all involved. We will continue to do everything possible with our partners at the county to protect our public health and all of the city of Dallas.
Meanwhile, the White House announced today that enhanced screening for the Ebola virus will begin this weekend at New York's JFK Airport. Screenings of those traveling from West Africa will eventually expand to Newark, Chicago, Washington Dulles, and Atlanta. Customs and Border Protection officers will be using laser thermometers to read temperatures, and what they will do is they will hold those up to a passenger's forehead, so there's no physical contact, but that temperature very critical to determining whether someone is contagious.
Absolutely, taking no chance with this one, and the place where he was staying in Dallas continues to be closely quarantined tonight.
True.
All right, Lori Taylor with that part of the story. In the meantime, doctors all over the world, including right here in Northeast Ohio, are closely monitoring that case. So what factors come into play when fighting off Ebola? Fox 8's Melissa Reed spoke with an infectious disease doctor at University Hospitals. Live with more, Melissa, on exactly what he had to say about this.
Hi there, Lou. His name is Dr. Frank Esper, an infectious disease doctor with University Hospitals. And while he was not the doctor that was obviously treating Mr. Duncan before his death, he and many other infectious disease doctors across the United States were closely following this case. Now, Dr. Esper said he first heard about Duncan's death in the office this morning. His thoughts were immediately to Duncan's family and friends, as well as the doctors and staff who were treating him. Dr. Esper says there are many factors that come into play in how well Mr. Duncan reacted to the virus. Esper says when Duncan got sick, he got sick very fast. He also had kidney problems, brain problems, in addition to the virus affecting his clotting function. Duncan also did not receive treatment until several days after he had symptoms, and he was also given an experimental antiviral drug.
It was actually a drug very different than antibodies, and this drug actually kills the virus at the genetic level. It's an offshoot of a medication that we already use for other viruses, but we still don't know how effective it is, and it's still something that we're learning. And unfortunately, a lot of these drugs are all experimental. We don't know which ones work, which ones don't, or what side effects they have and problems that they have with the medication. So that is something that we are still learning, and unfortunately, we're learning as we're trying to treat these patients.
Now, University Hospitals does have an Ebola preparedness plan. It's been in effect since August in case Ebola would ever come here to Northeast Ohio. Dr. Esper says there's a meticulous infectious control procedures in place concerning where the victim would go, their clothes, their linens, Lou, even who would bring them food.
All right, Melissa Reed with that information about Ebola, a worldwide concern tonight. Melissa, thank you. Other news now, a Mansfield woman sentenced for taking a stuffed animal from an infant's grave. 54-year-old Frida K. Shade surrendered to police earlier this year after investigators released this video to the public. Shade later pleaded guilty to one count of theft for taking the toy duck from the grave of a 14-month-old child. A judge sentenced her to 180 days in jail with 150 of them suspended. She'll also pay a $250 fine. The man accused of placing a camera phone inside of a woman's restroom at Portage Country Club faced a judge this morning. 32-year-old Curtis Von Tacky is charged with one count of voyeurism. Von Tacky also faces a previous charge of a similar crime at a small business in Akron. In that case, Von Tacky placed the camera phone inside of a tissue box. He's seen in the video actually putting the camera into the box. Von Tacky's bond is set at $40,000. Cleveland police officers may soon be equipped with body cameras. Police administrators talked about the proposal with council members today. Fox 8's Peggy Sinkovich was there, joins us with more on this. And Peggy, I know the city's been talking about this for quite some time. Is it finally now going to happen?
Well, yes, Lou, this has been discussed for close to 3 years, but Safety Director Michael McGrath says officials just wanted to make sure they were making the right choice. He says after doing a pilot program, the police department believes the body cameras will benefit police officers as well as the public. Portable body cameras may soon be part of the uniform for some Cleveland police officers. Director of Public Safety Michael McGrath, as well as Police Chief Calvin Williams, met with council members Wednesday to discuss the proposal to purchase the cameras.
Because the body cameras can be used in two modes. You can use them on your body, and you can also mount them on the dashboard.
The city has tested out the portable cameras this summer, and McGrath said they worked quite well. It will cost about $1.6 million to purchase cameras for about 1,000 patrol officers. Council members say they are hoping that the patrol officers in Cleveland will have these body cameras on by early next year. City officials began discussing getting the cameras after the November 2012 police chase and shooting that left 2 unarmed suspects dead. Many officials, as well as citizens, thought if the police would have had portable video cameras on at that time, it would have been much easier to figure out exactly what took place.
I think in today's society, it's critical for the protection of the police officers and protection for the citizens that are out there.
Council members Mike Polensek and Zach Reed were also critical that it has taken so long for the city to purchase the cameras. But Police Chief Calvin Williams said the department wanted to make sure they made the right choice.
The process has taken so long because we want to ensure that we are responsible and spending the city's money, and that we have a product that we can be proud of, and that's going to do what we need it to do for this city.
The chief added that the department will be establishing policies and procedures on the proper use of the cameras. Now, council members also say other cities have found the use of body cameras have reduced the number of complaints against officers. Lou?
Well, Wade apparently is over on that. Peggy, thank you. Let's turn to the weather now. Yesterday's rainy weather gone. It is out of here, but the clouds are not going away. They're still here. Fall is here, though, and that is why our Melissa Mack is at Mapleside Farms today, one of my favorite places in Northeast Ohio, Melissa. That is a beautiful place to be this time of year.
Boy, no doubt about it, Lou. It is a beautiful fall day here across Northeast Ohio, and what better place to be than Mapleside Fruit Farms here in Brunswick? Yes, here we are with the pumpkins and the apples, all the romance of the fall season. And let me tell you, they are picking apples like crazy here and making just about anything you could possibly dream of when it comes to apples. And you know, you're always trying to learn something here. And you know, the state bird, for example, the cardinal, but the state apple, did you know it's the Melrose apple? Just learned that myself here. Just a few tidbits of information here at the fruit farm that's going on. So much going on here. They have so many festivals going on the next several weekends. We'll talk about that more in detail, though, after we do this forecast and throughout the Fox 8 News at 4 o'clock show. So let's go right to the temperatures right now. As we look, we have 50s and we have some 60s around, too. Still running a little bit below normal. From 59 in Cleveland right now to Akron, Canton, we have you at 63. To the west, we also have you in the low 60s. It's been a little cooler, though, to the east. There have been lake-enhanced cloud cover for Ashtabula and those typical snowbelt areas where your temperatures are located in the upper 50s. On top of that, the winds are whipping around and pretty feisty, shall we say, as they're gusting between 25 and 30 miles per hour and coming in from the west, but sustained still around 10 to 20 miles per hour. So again, that's kind of inducing the cooler air over the warmer lake waters is the reason why you notice on visible satellite imagery here as we look, some of those clouds kind of polka dotting the map, and that's all just picturesque cloud cover, just decorating the sky. No raindrops to speak of falling from these clouds anyway. But high pressure is building in from Canada, and it's going to finally take control of our weather pattern. And today is the beginning of a nice dry stretch, although we're going to have to watch across southern Ohio where you could have some clouds and even some rain around as we approach the weekend. But for the most part, our viewing area should be a-okay and unscathed from any of that rainfall that should stay to our south. Let's go ahead and go to the Futurecast model and show you from tonight through tomorrow. Now, if you notice across central Ohio and southern Ohio, more clouds and definitely a better chance of showers. Although most of our viewing area should be dry, we can't roll out, say, Dover, New Philly, and Findlay, for example, that could have potentially a sprinkle or two. It'd be so light, though, throughout the day tomorrow. But again, we are looking at Friday night touchdown. Week number 7 is looking dry for all of Northeast Ohio football games. A lot better and a far cry from last week's forecast, that's for sure. Overnight tonight, going to be cool and going to be windy out there, too. It'll be moonlit and starlit with overnight lows in the low 40s. And then tomorrow, more clouds to the south, maybe a sprinkle or two. The rest of us, more sunshine the farther north you live, and high temperatures still a little below normal, near 60 degrees. We have a lot going on here at Mapleside Fruit Farms in Brunswick. Number 1, you got the apples. Number 2, you've got these kind of apples. I mean, hey, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Look at this, like a Buckeye, of course, the state tree. I'm learning all about the state stuff going on from our Buckeye State. So we'll be talking to one of our apple experts here. We'll be talking about pumpkins, and I may even go jump on this jumpy thing, like a trampoline thing, towards the end of the show. So we'll see, Lou. I don't know. I don't want to sprain an ankle or anything, you know.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm sure you'll have fun out there. Melissa Mack having the fun assignment of the day. Thanks, Melissa. We'll talk to you again
You're
quickly.
welcome.
All right, with more technology at our fingertips, we find our attention being diverted, especially when we get behind the wheel. Still to come here tonight, why even using a hands-free device could still be dangerous. Plus, downtown Cleveland going to the dogs. It's true, a new place to make downtown living a little bit more pet-friendly. And the Browns cannot afford another slow start this Sunday. Well, it's going to take a solid effort not only to beat the Steelers, but to post a winning record. We'll be back. Live look outside tonight here at 4:15 in the afternoon. Water churning out there in Lake Erie, but generally speaking, pretty nice day. We'll take this anytime. A cloudy but nice day today, just as our Melissa Mack predicted. She's out there at Mapleside Farms right now. And Melissa, the sights out there are nice, more than nice, pretty much every day.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, it is so much fun out here, too. There's so much more to do than you could possibly think of. It's like a festival every day, especially during the weekend. So we'll tell you about those weekend festivals coming up. But, you know, there's a lot of art and science, shall we say, that goes into the pumpkins and apples and things that go on here behind the scenes that we just enjoy it. But when you're doing some of the farming, we have our farm manager here, Bill Eisen. Right. I even spelled the name right. I was so proud of myself.
You did good.
Very tricky. You know, tell me about the apple season so far this year and kind of what's been going on at this point of the season. We're about halfway through.
We're about right in the middle of it, and we started about the 1st of August picking our early apples, and we've got a good crop. We've dodged any of the hailstorms. Thank you for that. I think you had to control that, right?
Oh, it's all about me,
yeah,
of course.
Right. Well, anyway, we didn't have any hail, and we had some great weather. Anytime you have sunny days and cool nights, it's really great for color and develops the apples. So right now we probably get 2 or 3 weeks. We like to be done before Halloween because then we're going to get some frost, and we want to make sure they're in the cold storage before the frost hits.
And is there a real science to this, I'm assuming? I mean, you really spend a lot of time. I mean, this is not just like, oh, I go out there and pick an apple or plant a tree.
Right. There's seasonal things that we do every year. Of course, we prune and we thin trees every year. We plant new ones, so it's a rotation thing. But it's 4 seasons long. Of course, this is our busy season. This is where we really get it. We're picking till late and putting apples into storage all day long. So it's a long fall, but this is apple season, so that's why we have to do it.
And tell me about Melrose here. It's one of your better sellers.
And I cut one here for us to try.
Oh, well, thank you.
So just tear that off.
Okay.
Melrose was developed by my dad.
By your dad?
Yes.
You're third generation, by the way.
I'm third generation. He developed it with the experiment station down in Worcester, and it's a great apple. It's a cross between a Red Delicious and
crispy.
a Jonathan. Very crispy. And what's nice about Melrose, it's multi-purpose. You can use it for eating, applesauce, apple pies. My mom won't make a pie out of anything but Melrose. So it's just a great, great apple. And a lot of people don't know that we have a state apple. You do now.
No, I know.
Yes,
Melrose is on the list. And you know what? On top of that, you have a lot of festivals going on, so I have to get the forecast to see when people should come out.
Right.
Rain or shine, though, obviously.
Come out anytime.
Let's go. Let's go right to those graphics and tell you. It's been, you know, somewhat cool. And speaking of, boating season's coming to a halt, too. So we're going to look at some of the current temperatures across the region right now. Now, just kind of metro speaking. We have, number one, a small craft advisory in effect, and that is in effect due to some of the wave heights that are getting very high at times, up to 10 feet. They'll begin to subside tomorrow as winds begin to finally slow down a little bit, but small craft advisory again in effect. So lakefront 60 right now, Hopkins 60 degrees. West winds, now again, this is sustained, not even the gusts, around 15 to 25 miles per hour. That apple just tasted so good. Sorry, I just had to add that in there. All right, so 60 at Hopkins right now, but as you head south and west again, like the trend has been the past several days, temperatures are nearing 80 in St. Louis. Paducah, you're at 81 right now. We have the Queen City at 69 degrees, and again, we have a lot of 60s out there, but the warmest area is far south and west. So satellite radar is confirming that we have across northern and northeastern Ohio more clouds. Again, it's lake enhanced or lake induced, where there's a little disturbance in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and the cooler wind is picking up some of the moisture from Lake Erie, and you're getting some of these clouds. But I will say that the clouds just make it that much prettier. It's what you expect for fall season, some patchy clouds, the breezy conditions, and you want it to be a little bit cool for, after all, it makes you feel like you want to come out and get some of these apples and enjoy what fall festivities we have here across Northeast Ohio. But there's been a big area of low pressure detached from the jet stream to our north in Canada, and swinging around it like, say, tentacles of moisture or kind of like a spokes around a bicycle wheel. It has these little minor disturbances going in a counterclockwise fashion, which is why we've had these chances of a few showers here and there. But this is the beginning of a dry stretch and sunny stretch for most of us, maybe 4 to a 5-day stint. So as you look at a future cast here, we're going to keep the clouds across the southern viewing area from Findlay to Mansfield, Worcester, and Dover, New Philly, where there's going to be an ever so slight chance tomorrow afternoon you could run into a raindrop or two. The farther north you live, the sunnier it is going to be for you. as we go throughout the day tomorrow and also for your Friday. As we look at your Futurecast model, we're going to show you that those clouds again stay mainly to the south all the way through Thursday night and even Friday. You know, it's going to be really nice on Friday that we have a dry football forecast, because when you're cheering on your football team or your cheerleader, band member, majorette, dance team member, whatever it may be, it's so much more bearable to be cool but at least dry. And the rainfall again would be light to the south if there's anything at all on Thursday. We go through tonight's forecast. It's going to be cool out there, so if you have those windows cracked just even a little bit, you may need to add that electric blanket or an extra blanket as you head towards dawn tomorrow. And for your Thursday, where I like to say it's one alarm clock away from the weekend, sunniest to the north, some clouds, maybe a raindrop or two to the south, with high temperatures still running about a handful of degrees below normal, near 60. Now, as you head into your Friday, it's going to be cool in the afternoon, so you can imagine how cool it will be as you're heading out to the bleachers to cheer on your team on Friday, but at least expected to be dry. Now, Sunday, starting late in the day, there will be a chance of a shower, with temperatures starting to creep upward on Monday, as temperatures come closer to 70 Monday and Tuesday, unfortunately accompanied by some rainfall. But hey, if anything, by Wednesday, it looks like we'll be back to some sunshine. And again, Mapleside Fruit Farms in Brunswick. So much going on out here. We talked about apples. There's a science to it, you know. There's almost a science to really anything if you think about it. Yep. And we're thankful for those that are professionals and entrepreneurs at that. Next, we're going to go outside, talk more about pumpkins, and maybe do a little fall fun in terms of there's a kids play area. And after all, I'm a kid I've never grown up, so I'm just a grown-up kid. Lou, back to you.
Nice to act like a kid every now and then, and they've been doing it there since 1927. So they know what they're doing. All right,
That's
Melissa,
right.
We'll see you in a bit. This year, Fox 8 is your official school closing station, app, and website. We've got you covered. Get alerted to school closings and delays on the air and on the Fox 8 app, and also online. We deliver the information in alphabetical order by county. You can also sign up for text alerts, which are fantastic, by going to fox8.com, clicking on closings right there at the top. Well, texting or even picking up your cell phone while behind the wheel, that can be really dangerous. That's why many people use a hands-free device. But coming up next, why those gadgets may also be just as dangerous. Find out why. Plus, Hawaii is known for beautiful beaches and being the birthplace of President Barack Obama, but that doesn't mean those two things should go together. Find out what we're talking about when we come back. Various artists for sure, but the Beach Boys had the best version of that. Can we agree on that? Yeah, we're all saying yes. Welcome back, everybody. President Barack Obama, born in Hawaii, but one part of the state does not feel he deserves a special honor. Council members in one part of the state wanted to rename a beach after our 44th president. It's now called Sandy Beach Park, and the plan was to call it President Barack Obama's Sandy Beach Park. Those in favor of the idea say there are no statues or monuments to honor our president, so the beach is a fitting tribute. But as of now, the original name stays the same because council withdrew its proposal. Well, we've all heard the warnings about putting down the cell phones while behind the wheel. One solution, going hands-free. But as Joe Waldman shows us now, just because you don't put your phone to your ear doesn't make it any less dangerous.
You ever use hands-free devices in your car?
I'm actually using my Bluetooth right now.
You think it's safe? Just because you're going hands-free in your car doesn't mean you're freeing yourself from the serious possibility of getting in a crash. Two new studies conducted by both AAA and the University of Utah suggest using your voice to give commands can be just as distracting as physically calling or texting someone on your phone.
People are under the impression that hands-free is risk-free, but we find that that is not the case, that your hands might be on the steering wheel, but your brain is not on the task.
AAA's Robert Sinclair says all it takes is 2 seconds for you to be distracted to wind up in an accident. He tells us the studies looked at 2 things: infotainment systems in popular car brands from Mercedes to Chrysler and Ford. The second study specifically examined Apple iPhone's Siri voice system. You know, to navigate, send texts, and even post on Facebook. But Sinclair says one thing stuck out about Siri.
Receiving the text was bad, but responding to the text was even worse.
So bad, Apple Siri received the worst rating of all, a 4.14, with 5 being the worst. And twice during the Siri test study, drivers in a simulator rear-ended other drivers. As for the infotainment systems, Chevrolet's MyLink was the worst of that bunch. Both studies found one common thread.
More time involved with the technology leads to a greater distraction, especially the cognitive distraction, the mental distraction.
They're supposed to be not distracting. Why do you say they're distracting?
Because they don't understand what I'm saying.
You're going to reconsider not going hands-free now?
No.
You don't care?
I like hands-free.
A decision that could end up being a matter of life or death.
And more states are deciding that any kind of phone use behind the wheel is prohibited. Well, people love their pets, we know that, but downtown living is not exactly ideal for dogs. But now your best friend will soon have a new place to frolic, still to come here tonight. It's a big city dog park. Plus, local police officers hit the road learning how not only to catch criminals, but to make sure they do that job safely. We'll be back.
Cleveland's own Fox 8 News.
Welcome back, everybody. Fox 8 News at 4 o'clock. Glad you're with us today. Gabe is off today. I'm Lou Maglio. Melissa is not here in the studio with us today, but she's in a far better looking place, even though we have a very nice studio here. Mapleside Farms in Brunswick. Melissa, this is a spectacular time of year there.
It is. You know, Lou, I can just smell fall. You can just smell it as we're approaching mid-October. Foliage season, it's almost peak here over the next week or two across Northeast Ohio. And what else do you think of? Let's see, apples, pumpkins, maybe a little fun at Mapleside Farms here in Brunswick. 100 acres of fun, that is. So we talked about apples earlier in the show, and now we're going to be talking about pumpkins. I am learning there are about 80 varieties of pumpkins. This is their pumpkin wall, and we're going to really get a lot of details about this coming up just a little bit later in the show. But you know, you want to know about this good weather that's been going on, because today it is beautiful. So let's go right to those temperatures. Okay, it's a little cool. I obviously went outside and had to put the coat on. It's a light coat. I don't mind. Get out your fall stuff. Get out your sweatshirts, your sweatpants, and enjoy. All right, let's go right to those temperatures. From the upper 50s to lower 60s today, running a little bit below normal. As you look, 59 at Hopkins right now. We have Akron, Canton, 63. To the east, where there's been more lake effect cloud cover, Ashtabula and Youngstown in the upper 50s, and 64 for Findlay. Average high temperature, in case you're wondering, is 65 degrees. So again, slightly below normal. But the sunshine makes it feel good. But the winds, wow, they're just whipping around from 15 to 25 miles per hour and gusting at times close to 30 miles per hour, even more in Findlay. You have a gust of 37 miles per hour. As you look at visible satellite, we are showing you that there are some clouds across extreme northeast Ohio, but the rest of us, we have full-blown sunshine on this Wednesday as we are halfway to the weekend. High pressure building in, and with the winds from the west picking up a little moisture from Lake Erie and depositing it in the form of some patchy cloud cover. But those clouds are just decorative cloud cover, thankfully. Now, through tonight, there's going to be a front to our south, and right now it appears high pressure is going to win out for northern Ohio, but more clouds will be across our southern viewing area tonight and tomorrow, where there could be a sprinkle or two around. Although most of northeast Ohio should stay dry completely from this front, southern Ohio will be a totally different story. Thursday to Friday, you'll have a chance of rain both of those days. For us, we should stay dry though, and if anybody sees any raindrops at all, it'd be across our extreme southern viewing area. All right, let's go ahead and right to the forecast and show you tonight will be cool as winds begin to diminish. We'll have temperatures falling to the low 40s. We'll have a mostly clear sky, starlit and moonlit sky, that is. And then for tomorrow, still similar to today, highs around 60. More sunshine the farther north you live. And again, you can't completely rule out a raindrop or two as being farther south in our viewing area during tomorrow afternoon. We'll talk more about Friday night touchdown week number 7 forecast. This weekend's forecast, plus this pumpkin wall that is massive. I'm learning there's a moon pumpkin, there's a, oh, I don't know, all these different kinds of pumpkins. All I know is there's also a good one for baking. I need to learn more about that. We'll talk about that at 4:45. Plus, I'm going to go jump maybe on this a really fun jumping, huge, massive trampoline kind of thing. I don't know, but you have to take your shoes off, so we'll see what I can do out there, too. Lou, back to you.
This we have to see, and we look forward to it very much. Thank you, Melissa. FBI now asking for help to identify a man they believe is from North America who is now fighting for ISIS inside of Syria. Fox News reporter Peter Ducey has more on this from Washington.
Can you identify this man? That's the question being asked by the FBI after the masked militant is heard speaking Arabic, but then switching to English, appearing to speak with a North American accent.
Anybody who recognizes either the voice or the eyes or the voice and the eyes are one and the same person, they really need to get in touch with the FBI immediately.
The FBI believes there are about a dozen Americans fighting alongside ISIS overseas. Meanwhile, this morning in Iraq, where U.S.-led allied airstrikes have been ongoing for 2 months, ISIS fighters shooting down an Iraqi military helicopter with a surface-to-air missile, killing 2 on board.
The Iraqi forces within Iraq are standing up and have had some successes, some setbacks too, but some successes.
In Syria, the fighting between ISIS and local forces continues in the town of Kobani, with American military leaders fearing the small town near the Turkish border is on the verge of falling to ISIS forces. According to reports, some inside the White House are frustrated with Turkey's lack of involvement despite ISIS forces right on their doorstep.
We certainly are in discussions with the Turks about what they can or will or may do here. Obviously, this is a decision the Turkish government has to make. We can't make it for them.
In Washington, Peter Ducey, Fox News.
The Fox 8 Missing Persons Project is focusing on 16-year-old Darielle Sims. She's 5'8" with brown hair and brown eyes, was last seen in Cleveland on September 29th, wearing flowered leggings, a white top, blue jean jacket, and a white lace headband with a bow. If you have any information about Darielle Sims, contact Detective Wimberly at the Cleveland Police 3rd District. Well, dog owners living downtown will now have a new place to take their furry friends. An outdoor dog park was just built in Settlers Landing right there by the flats. As Fox 8's Brittany Harris tells us now, it's the first of its kind for that area.
I'm standing here in Settlers Landing Park in downtown Cleveland, where the first ever outdoor dog park was built. It's pretty quiet right now, but soon it's going to be filled with a lot of canines. Now, there's been talk of building a dog park for a while, and Downtown Cleveland Alliance finally made it happen. They helped raise $10,000 of the $20,000 needed through an online campaign to construct it. What's interesting about that is a large chunk of the donations actually came from people living downtown. So clearly, they really wanted this park. Downtown Cleveland Alliance says this location is perfect for an outdoor dog park. They say it's very accessible.
Really, this is an opportunity to demonstrate the need and the demand for a park, and our goal is that we see some developers and other partners in the city bring another park to other parts of downtown for residents in different neighborhoods to enjoy.
And again, the dog park isn't open just yet, but it's going to be very soon on October 13th. There's going to be a ribbon cutting ceremony that'll start at 11 a.m. Dogs and, of course, their owners are invited to attend. Back to you.
Make a lot of people very happy, and their dogs too. Thank you, Brittany. Police officers from all over Northeast Ohio are back in the classroom taking a course that can save lives during an emergency. Police officers were speeding at the Nelson Ledges Raceway in Garrettsville today. It's part of their emergency vehicle operations course. Officers learn skills to help them better respond to emergency situations, skills which can be vital when they're patrolling their neighborhoods.
Not only is it important to get the suspect or the person that we're apprehending, but we want to make sure we do it in a safe manner, make sure that we get home and that we don't harm anyone in the process of doing that.
Well, makes perfect sense. Great training there. More than 500 officers have passed the course since it began back in 2010. Well, you asked, and world-renowned heart surgeon Dr. Mark Gillinoff and his team of Cleveland Clinic experts, well, they have the answers for you. Join us tomorrow for another Dr. Mark special. This time, he answers your questions about everything from heart health to cancer care, women's issues, and more. Dozens of viewers submitted questions from Twitter, Facebook, and all around Cleveland. Ask Dr. Mark tomorrow night, 7:30, right here on Fox 8. Well, as we know, in the NFL, you're only as good as your last game, and the Browns will have to play a complete 4 quarters this time if they want to pick up another win. Up next, P.J. Ziegler sets the stage for an AFC North showdown. Plus, we've all heard of fantasy football leagues, but how about fantasy shopping? How your fashion sense could earn you some cold, hard cash. We'll be back.